The world's most prestigious Freeride Tour heads to Kicking Horse, British Columbia, Canada for the second stop of the season. Nestled in the Rocky Mountain Trench and built around the confluence of the Columbia and Kicking Horse rivers is Golden, BC, the feeder town for the surrounding mountain resorts. This interesting town has its roots not in mining as you would expect, but as a railroad town established for the tricky build across the mountain range back in the day. Golden still operates as a busy hub for the Canadian Pacific Railway and as a logging town. In the late 19th century, Swiss mountain guides were brought in to help the locals and tourists navigate their way into the Rockies. Kicking Horse Mountain Resort sits just above this bustling town, and as it is the champagne powder capital of Canada, it provides the perfect location for the Freeride World Tour. So as they say in Canada, it's time to get rowdy.
Wir sind hier also in Kicking Horse, Canada.
We're here in Kicking Horse, Canada. It's freezing cold, but we have fresh snow. Today is the face check. That's when we prepare our line. The competition is announced for tomorrow, so we are already waiting in the wings here. I will wear the leader's bib, and let's see if I'll be able to defend it or if I have to hand it over to the next rider.
It's incredible. Yeah, there's the Purcells, the Selkirks, and dozens of other mountain ranges all around us. So on this Bluebird day, it's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, last year it went well. We had 2 competitions within 2 days. I got first and second place, which is why I have a fond memory of this place. Canada's awesome. It's a little bit too cold for me though. Yeah, so Japan was an amazing competition. A little bit disappointed with my 3rd place as I would have loved to stomp my trick, but that's how it is. Another time maybe. Here in Canada, it'll be pretty different. We'll ride fast and send it big, so let's see what happens.
It's looking pretty good actually. You know, with all this fresh snow, I thought it was going to be kind of poor conditions, but there's even more options this year than I think there was last year, so got something lined up and gonna give it all.
This is one of the most beautiful places I've been to for a ski resort, and this resort is huge. With a world-class skiing, and it's fully empty today.
In the men's snowboard category, the first event in Japan was won by Travis Rice. He had a wildcard entry for the Hakuba event, but could not make it for the rest of the season, unfortunately. He was joined on the podium by Austrian Stylmeister Gigi Ruff and Davy Baird. They both had a solid start into the season, however, super consistent Big Mountain Charger Jonathan Penfield is knocking on the door. The field is stacked with talent this year, and the one rider that shouldn't be ruled out is fellow American reigning world champion Sami Lubke. The 3-time winner had a disappointing crash in Japan, but has some serious motivation for this North American stop. The women's snowboard category saw Russian Anna Orlova take the win in the first event, pushing the current world champion Manuela Mandl into 2nd place and the 2017 world champion Marian Herty into 3rd. The Kicking Horse weather forecast is looking to be perfect, although a little bit cold. As the skiers and snowboarders are leaving the valley, it registers minus 27 degrees Celsius. The riders make their way up the hill in the dark as the clouds threaten to roll in later in the day, but for now it looks to be a classic Rocky Mountain sunrise.
Looking at ozone, it's the first option, so we're super happy to be on it. We're in the Rockies, so our biggest concern right now is just rocks, but the snow on some of the landings in between, it just looks epic.
Some of the things I planned are looking difficult now. I think I'll go for a speed and flowy line. The first time I saw the face, I found it pretty rocky and short, but when I look at it in more detail, I see a lot of interesting options.
I think the most interesting part about this venue is that it's actually quite short.
Finding a line's been a little bit more difficult, but got it figured out by now.
Austria's Manuela Mandl drops into the face. The current world champion shows no fear on the fresh face of ozone. A huge drop in the middle of the face, though, and she can't stick the landing. A bold run, but will she pay for this big mishap? Japan's Makanahama had a disappointing result at the first event of the year, which was a bitter disappointment as it was on Japanese soil. Finishing 5th overall last year, she had a point to prove, and she gets into the technical section but can't quite stick it. Marion Herty from Chamonix in France drops in from the more technical start number 2. The 2017 world champ links her run through the picturesque trees and into a super technical chute. The hesitation will affect her fluidity score, but the line choice is superb, and she takes the win. Oh man, up there I was filled with negative vibes. I was like, you're gonna fall. And once I was on my board, everything got fine. I got super confident and everything went well. Well, it was not amazing at the bottom, but it feels really good to be back on the top of the podium. The men's snowboard field is stacked like in no other year, with the winner of the European qualifying series, Ludovic Dia, gaining a place on the main tour. The 33-year-old Frenchman front flips off the cornice with a clean landing. He gets caught up in a small slide and can't avoid the rocks below, but he gets away with it and punctuates his run with a backflip at the end. Gigi Roof takes a bold start but just can't avoid the sharp rocks under his board. They stop him dead and he goes down. A rough start for the current leader.
Nervous, but good. It's freaking beautiful out.
Davey Baird, hailing from Alaska, steps into the start gate. 3rd overall last year and always knocking on the door of the top spots. He even won this event back in 2018. He's a super balanced rider who rarely takes a crash. Fellow American rider Jonathan Penfield is no stranger to charging hard, taking a podium in Verbier 2017 and winning the Hakuba event last year. He stays on his feet and puts down a super solid run.
Three, two, one, start.
Blake Ham finished 5th in his first year on the main tour last year, taking a podium here on Ozone in his premier event. The 24-year-old rider from Utah lines up a spectacular double and nails it.
Top of the venue, super stoked, time to get after it. Snow looks good, we got perfect sun. Hang loose, brothers!
Sam Elupka needs no introduction. He's been dominating the World Tour for the past 3 years, and his style speaks for itself. He takes the long traverse to the rider's right and certainly makes it worthwhile. Victor Delarue, the 29-year-old Chamonix rider, is known for his big mountain charging and has been given a wild card for this season. A disappointing start to his campaign in Japan has led to his shift in approach, which is all in and let's see what happens. It pays off as Victor takes the win. In Japan, I was more thinking, I'm doing my first freeride competition, let's just see how it goes. I just planned on going down, throwing 2 360s, and it should have been all right, but it didn't go as planned, and I crashed 15 meters from the start. Yeah, and then I was riding at like 2 kilometers an hour, so it was really frustrating. This time, I thought I had to change my mindset, choose a good run, and just go for it, regardless of whether it works out or not.
We're in Canada, baby. We made it. California to Canada. Welcome, baby.
The riders travel from far and wide to compete in kicking horse, so on their down days they take full advantage of the Canadian champagne powder, the incredible endless terrain, and the warm hospitality.
There's poison in my blood. Feels so wrong, but tastes so good. One perfection, one desire. Feed the monster, fuel the fire. 7-seater jet plane. Hot in the sky, everybody's looking at us, all know why. I'm automatic. You can turn disaster on me. I'll do the time. Yes! You can try all night to wrong me, but I'm by design.
In the women's ski category, the current world champion, 26-year-old Italian Arianna Tricomi, took the win at the first event in Japan, a real confidence booster. However, the two Swiss, Maud Besse and Elisabeth Gerritsen, are close behind, along with a whole host of other talent. The men's category sees a plethora of riders that could win, but the current leader is 2018 runner-up Marcus Eder. In Japan, he put together a very complete run with creative line choices, superb fluidity, and spectacular tricks. In second place is the iconic Tanner Hall, who is on the tour for the first time, but has been bringing his backcountry tricks to the mountains for years. But the surprise is third place rookie Tom Pfeiffer. He showed no hesitation in his first event of the year. Current world champion Sweden's Christopher Tordell finished in 7th place in Japan, but with his calculating and consistent riding, he should not be ruled out. Norway's Hedvig Vessel has been wild-carded for this season. Coming from Olympic mogul skiing, she's got a head for competition, but Japan proved challenging. The ozone face here in Canada is very unforgiving and demands respect. Hazel Josie Birnbaum is on her 5th year on the tour, super experienced and a very solid skier. She has won the Verbier competition, which is the ultimate accolade. She puts down a fast and fluid run here in Kicking Horse.
I want you back. I want you
Current world champion and tour leader Ariana Dracomi instantly shows her experience and strength with a fast and fluid approach. She shows no hesitation whatsoever, dropping one of the bigger cliffs of the day. Next out the start is rookie Jacqueline Pollard. She earned her place on the tour by winning the qualifying tour for the Americans in 2018. Her first event of the season put her in 8th, but she has taken it up a notch for kicking horse, and it pays off with the win.
I've been here before. I really love this mountain, and so I was a little bit less nervous than maybe Japan. And my brother, this morning he said, you just gotta trust yourself. You know how to ski, you've been doing it for a while. And so at the top I was like, just have fun. It's a powder run and enjoy it, and it worked out.
It's hard to understand what it takes to put down a winning run. Here we see it through the eyes of Jacqueline and Judge Bertie Deneveau.
Before my run, I was feeling a little nervous, but pretty excited. I liked the line that I had picked. The 4 runners earlier that day had made the snow look really good, and so I was pretty excited to go down.
What we like though here is the way she did one turn to go to that second air, so no hesitation there. Perfect landing here, and then she goes really fast, and that scores really highly on fluidity.
I was using all these big trees to know I had to stay above, and then I was going to swoop right under them. I knew that I had to take this angle in order to dodge that rock. Don't want to go there. I knew that if I could link it up with this little area, it would definitely look a little bit better and be a bit more exciting. And so then when I'm coming down, this isn't perfectly straight, and so I knew I was going to have to readjust before I popped then off of this next point.
The perfect landing, and then she spotted that entrance for a double, and that again is worth a lot of points.
I was super excited just to get down to the bottom. Pretty happy that I skied the run that I wanted to ski. I put the turns pretty much exactly where I had planned.
Overall, Jackie's run had great fluidity. That was the main strength of her run, plus the fact that she hit 3 features, and every time the feature were getting bigger and bigger, with the highlight of her run with that double at the bottom.
Hopefully the takeoff is good for it, because it looked good from where I was standing, but it's always another thing right when you get up to it. But if it's good, it's go time.
Tanner Hall steps up. After a second place in Japan, he is keen to put his stamp on the ozone face. A mighty 360 does just that, but that's all there was. It was pretty much a one-hit run. At the other end of the age spectrum is Berkeley Patterson. The 20-year-old was awarded Rookie of the Year last year and kicks it off with a 360 from almost a standstill, and then transfers and links up a series of super features. Jan Rausis from Switzerland takes to the start gate. He has 2 podiums in the last 2 years, but looks like his form is getting better and better. He shoots out of the more technical start gate number 2 and straight into a huge 360 off a rock feature, and then drops a massive cliff. Reine Barkared from Sweden is always a force to be reckoned with, super experienced and solid as a rock. He links drop after drop.
Confusing, cold, and scared. actually feeling much better, and I'm super nervous, and I like that because they always make me focus. We'll see how it ends up.
The reigning world champion does not disappoint. With his faultless style, he puts down a run that looks easy but very technical. Last year's kicking horse winner Logan Peota hails from Whistler in Canada, so he could almost be considered the local favorite. He goes full throttle through the trees and straight lines the lower cliff band and stomps it.
It's a beautiful freaking day out. Beautiful. I think everyone's hyped. Conditions are good, the snow is good, it's stompy, it's fast. And I think it's gonna go a bit crazy. And I'm getting nervous. I don't know if I should go this way or this way. For now I have 2 lines and I still need to decide.
The tour leader takes the skier's right option and goes from one hit to the next, finishing his run off with a massive cork 360 safety grab. Unbelievable.
Insane. Feeling pretty good. Really excited for the comp today. Snow looks good. I'm gonna go over to the right side. Hopefully it works out.
Craig Murray has been getting better and better over the last year on the tour and really illustrated his progress in Japan. The 20-year-old from Wanaka shows his style with a huge flat spin in the middle of the face. The judges love it and awarded him the highest score of the day. His first win on the Freeride World Tour.
So much fun. I can't believe it. I've got a great crew of friends out here from New Zealand and it's super, super special to me.
Well-deserved win with tour leader Ariana Tricomi in second and Hazel Birnbaum in third. That pushes Hazel up to 4th on the overall leaderboard. Pollard's win propels her from 8th onto a podium spot in 3rd. Gerritson's consistency puts her in 2nd, and the convincing leader is Ariana Tricomi with a 1st and a 2nd place so far this season. In the men's ski, Craig Murray also has his first ever win, followed up by Marcus Eder and last year's event winner Logan Peota. Current world champion Christopher Tourdel is rewarded with his consistency and is sitting in 4th overall, with Tanner Hall dropping to 3rd place. Craig Murray jumped up in the rankings from 5th to 2nd, and staying firm at the top with a 1st and a 2nd place is Marcus Eder. Women's snowboard sees the 2017 world champ Marion Herty from France take the win, followed up by Japan's Wakana Hama and Manuela Mendel in 3rd. This podium secures her place in 2nd overall. Winner of the first event, Anna Orlova, drops down to 3rd, and Marion Herty leaps up the leaderboard to wear the golden bib for the next event. In the men's snowboard, Victor Delarue also takes his first win, followed up by 3-time world champ Sammy Lupke and fellow American Blake Ham. In the overall, Gigi Roof drops 4 places to join rising Sammy Lupke in 5th. Blake Ham is also a mover up from 4th to 2nd, joining Davey Baird, but the big news is that event winner Victor Delarue leaps from 6th to 1st in the overall standings. However, the scores among the top 6 are so close that it's anybody's game still. The next stop on the Freeride World Tour is Fieberbrunn, and it's shaping up to be an epic event, with the Austrian Alps having received record snowfall. Stop 3 is crucial for the riders who have not performed well so far, and for others, it's time to consolidate their place in the final. Halfway through the season, and it's time to hold the line.